Hi guys, this is Jeanne Holden, producer of the show, and I just wanted to take a minute to let you know where you can find us on the internet. Please go to ThatMan on Fatman.com. There you can find out all the things you need to know about the show. You'll be able to find links to the podcast, to YouTube, to Twitter, Facebook, even Instagram and Snapchat. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Today's show is brought to you by Death Wish Coffee. Death Wish Coffee, the strongest coffee in the world.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and I want to urge you to make a generous donation to the Wayne Foundation so we can stop the sexual trafficking of children. Do it, or I'll find you.
And don't forget to check out our good friend of the show, Mark Live, over at chundertunes.com for all your podcast animation needs. ThatMan on Fatman is recorded with a Zoom H6 handy recorder. Zoom for creators.
Disclaimer. The show you're about to experience is for entertainment purposes only. The hosts use mature language and conversation just like in most of life. If you're too uptight, this might not be for you. All that said, we really do hope you enjoy the show. But if you don't enjoy it, expect a nice big shipment of my joyous Joker juice on your doorstep in the very near future. Toodles!
Yes, please note that use of all sound effects is done ironically.
Ooh-ah. You are listening to ThatMan on Fatman with Scott and Jeanne Holden, and they, trust me, have a great ass.
The second Y is sent in by
ThatMan on Fatman.
Oh, right on. Scott Holden.
Scott Holden, yep.
And what is Scott want?
Call me Scott because I'm Holden.
As the world's biggest Kevin Smith fan, I appreciate the fact that somebody finally made a podcast about that interesting motherfucker. So, yes, you absolutely did the right thing.
Okay, what has two thumbs and is a huge fan of Kevin Smith? ThatMan!
Scott, who does ThatMan on Fatman podcast.
Yeah.
Ooh-ah.
Well, once upon a time, just a regular man read a book written by the Fat Man. Tough shit written by old Kev Smith.
Ooh-ah. ThatMan on Fatman.
Kev said go out and start a podcast, and so I did, and I had a real blast. But my obsession was driving my co-host nuts.
Who is he? He's that man. He's talking.
Didn't want to bring the podcast down. Needed Porkchop Murphy to hang around.
Go get him, that man.
So I created a show with one heck of a plan, and I call that show ThatMan on Fatman.
ThatMan on Fatman.
Go get him, that man.
We're gonna talk about Kevin Smith.
ThatMan on Fatman. ThatMan on Fatman.
Go get him, that man.
We're gonna talk about Kevin Smith.
Go get him, that man.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this episode 5-15, I believe, of ThatMan on Fatman. My name is Scott Holden. I'm here in the studio with none other than co-host extraordinaire, beautiful wife, life partner, and all that great stuff, my wonderful sweetie pie, Jeanne Holden.
Hi, guys.
Did I lay it on thick enough?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a quiet, more introspective, reserved episode today because we're going to cover a lot of news. We're going to keep it simple.
We're not really reserved.
Very early on a Sunday morning. And we're just going to do what was called a hostful on the Nerdist. I guess it's still called a hostful, but it's not the Nerdist anymore. And we're going to just talk about, because there's so much Kevin stuff going on, and it's just easier just to do it this way. And as the old expression says, get her done. So I'm not much of a get her done kind of guy, but I understand the context.
Well, that's what that phrase means.
Yes, to get it over with.
Get it over with, but not in a way that like we just want to like push it aside and get done with it. But
yes,
just things that need to be talked about.
So, I figured the first thing we really should open the show with is like the most bummerific news to come down the pike in the last few days, and the passing of Mr. John Schnepp. For those of you who don't know, John Schnepp is a big geek and does a lot of film work, but is probably most known for a little film he put together, which features Kevin and is called The Making... Oh, no, wait. What Happened to Superman Lives? Or no. Right. Superman Lives, What Happened?
Right.
It's a making of movie.
Right.
I just actually rewatched it again because... You know, with the news, you're like, oh, my God, I can't believe this guy is gone because he's so young. And he passed of essentially a stroke. He had a stroke, some sort of...
Yeah, he had an
embolism?
He had a blood clot in
yeah.
his carotid artery.
Yeah, and so that led to a stroke. And then,
ooh, that's not good. And
then I remember I thought it was like maybe Friday morning or maybe even Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Just reading that he was he was unconscious, and they were worried, and they'd started a GoFundMe account for him,
right.
which is still in existence. You can still, because now, I mean, they did rack up medical bills and all
right.
kinds of bills.
And they may have known his girlfriend or wife, or
I think it's his wife, but I'm not, or
she
they're definitely partners.
You're right. They may have known what was wrong, but at that point, they didn't know what to really say to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
no,
we don't even know what's going on.
Yeah,
like, what do you say, really? So.
Yeah, but they just knew that everything was really expensive.
God, I didn't think he was going to die, though.
No.
I'm scared. So sad.
So, yeah, then hearing not only like a day or so later it felt like within 24 hours that he had passed was just such bad news.
I know.
And in the midst of Comic-Con, and this is Comic-Con weekend, so, it was crazy week for news and good, fun stuff. So for that to kind of land at the beginning of the week just sucked. And I think that was something that Indie Mac User might have shot my way, too. There's been a week of Indie Mac User being...
sending news.
Yes, being ahead in England by several hours, making a big difference in his life.
Right.
That was some bad news, but he woke me up to some good news earlier in the week, but we'll get to that later.
Right.
I don't want to open with that. I don't want it to be all about me. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, it was just so devastating and unexpected and so young, and then rewatching the film, and he was a guy who definitely was, a fanboy and, was definitely wanted to show other filmmakers how to do this kind of thing. Because when you watch behind the scenes stuff, and a lot went into that. So, pour one out for, for a guy.
Schnepp.
Yeah, John Schnepp. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that happened. What else we got on that list? So it's Comic-Con weekend, we mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think today's the last day.
You know what? I think because we started out with such a downbeat, maybe I will go to the... and because it wasn't in my plan, but I'm thinking as we sit here, because we also shouted out Indie Mac User, I can go to earlier in the week after all and maybe lift the show back up some.
Right.
So very early in the week. And it's funny because the night it dropped, I saw it drop. I saw that a Fatman on Batman episode had just dropped with Kevin and Mark Bernardin, and a third guy, a gentleman who works, he's the showrunner for Luke Cage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember his name off the top of my head right now, so please forgive me.
Oops.
But and we're also flying computerless today. See, you can record podcasts without computers. Anyway, we had to do some moving around and stuff. Anyway, so on this, I saw that it dropped. I was going to spin it up, but I looked at the time, it was about 2 hours long, and I was like, if I put this on, I'm going to fall asleep. I just know it. And let me wait until tomorrow. I'll watch it when, I wake up and I'm fresh, which is what I like to do with things that I really want to watch.
Right.
Watch them right if you wake up, because then you won't fall asleep, even if it's terrible. So anyway, so like at 4 a.m. or some shit, I saw a tweet from Ben, Mr. Indie Mac user, saying, "Oh, Kevin shouted you out on the Fatman on Batman." He says, and it's right in the beginning. It's not long, but like it was a definite you'll be amazed kind of moment. To which I was like, oh, I got to hear it. So then I went and loaded the show. And really, it's right after the applause and the theme that this happens, and I'm going to play a cut. It's a little longer than what would be considered fair use, but I think that given the circumstances, that Kevin will be understanding. But also, make sure that you check it out, because it's on his YouTube channel. Just Google Fatman on Batman, and you cannot miss it. It's the most recent episode as of Sunday. What's today's date? The 20th or something? 21st?
Today's the 21st.
As of the 21st of July.
Yes.
2018.
And the showrunner was Chio Coker.
Thank you.
The showrunner.
Thank you. I was hoping you were going to get that.
That was on the last Fatman.
While we were chatting.
He was a really cool dude.
Yeah, he was. It's definitely worth watching, even beyond this first few minutes.
Yeah, he's really into it, too. Who wouldn't, though? That's fun.
I just left home to come over here, and
I'm sorry, I didn't give this just enough build up here. So here we go. Kevin's clip.
I just left home to come over here and had the weirdest exchange with my wife. On my desk, there's a gentleman named Scott Holden does a podcast. We do Fatman on Batman. He does ThatMan on Fatman, which is a podcast about me. Hopefully someone will do a podcast about him, and it'll be like that box of butter. It just gets smaller and smaller.
Oh, my God.
So he sent me a book for, I guess it was my birthday last year, that was like how to be a secret agent. And he was like, what do you get for the guy who has everything? Probably this, And so it was sitting on my desk. My wife came in to say something before I left. I was rolling a joint and shit, and she came in to talk. And then just before she leaves, she sees the book, and it's been there forever. And it's like she just noticed it or she never pays attention in the office. But she looks at it and she goes, "What's this?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a secret dream that I've always kept from you." Which is like a bullshit answer, but she was fucked. She came back with a rapier wit. She goes, "Oh my God, do you mean you've had an unexpressed thought in your life?"
Zinga!
Damn. Oh, it fucking hurt, but I was like, that's good. I'm stealing that line.
That's fucked up.
It was pretty fucking heinous.
Now, I'll just give a little insight into the book and all that. Sorry about that. Give a little insight into the book. That's a book that was written by my father, and it was about how to be a Secret Service agent. He's also written some stuff about and around the FBI. And at the time, everybody has been into this Trumpian world of how the government works and conspiracy and all this kind of shit going on. And I was like, oh, what do you give the guy who has everything and who's a writer? That was kind of the thing Kevin left out of the story. Right. How about a book by another writer I know? My father, he wrote a book about how to be a Secret Service agent. And I just thought it would be like, I bet Kevin will get a kick out of this for some reason. And so that was the message. What do you give the guy who has everything?
Well, apparently it's been on his desk. So.
Yeah. So that was such a shocker, too. And I remember asking him about really that when we were with Ralph at Babylon that one time. And he said, "Oh, yeah, I did get the book. Tell me," like he wanted to know what the story was as to why. I'm like, well, my father wrote it, and what do you get the guy who has everything?
And he smiled. He liked it.
Yeah. So, but the fact that he did have the book was such a...
Yeah.
And it's been sitting on his table. And so...
I know,
and I got to tell that to Dad, and he was, charmed to know that as well.
Yeah.
That his book is sitting on Kevin's table for a year now. So.
Very cool.
Yes. I should turn up your volume a little. You sound distant. So that was a wonderful way to kick off the week, although the week turned out to be not the greatest week in the world, politically and all kinds of other stuff. But hey, at least personally, we had a nice highlight. I mean, that shout out, I can't tell you. That is like that to me. Yeah, it was a good joke and his wife, but to me, there was something about that was like him really saying, I love you guys. Hang in there, kind of message.
Well, he didn't have to do all that.
No, he didn't have to mention that at all. And we definitely, it gives us a big shot in the arm.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yes. Thank you. May I have another? All right. So then Comic-Con eventually kicked off on Thursday. And Shooting Clerks had its day at Comic-Con. Although for some reason, I think the movie didn't play, but they talked all about it. And they had a panel, and Marilyn was there. And she got a lot of coverage on social media and in general. And they got a lot of coverage in social media and in general. And so all in all, it seems like a very good piece of publicity for the Shooting Clerks guys in the film. Now, maybe they ended up screening it somewhere in Los Angeles. I don't. No, they wouldn't be in Los Angeles. They'd be in San Diego.
No, I don't think so.
So yeah, but you can't get better press than that. Maybe they showed a clip during the panel. I didn't see the panel, so I would assume they did.
Well, I saw Stephanie Price was there. Jay Booten was there. The gentleman who played Walter was there.
Yep.
Chris. What's Chris's last name?
Downey. Yes,
Chris
the
Downey.
director.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Uppy Downey.
there. And so was Ryan James Noir.
Yes.
James Noir.
Was Brett Murray there too?
Brett Murray was there too.
Yeah, of course. Yes. So they had what looked like an amazing Comic-Con experience. I also saw pictures of them on the IMDB boat, which Kevin, but they weren't interviewed by Kevin on the IMDB boat, but they got to go on the IMDB boat and hang out and I guess be interviewed by other people. I'm not sure how that works.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You go, guys.
Indeed. I saw Captain's hat and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
James Noir was posting a lot of pictures, a lot of cool stuff. So shout out to the guys.
Yay.
And to fucking Shooting Clerks guys, man. That's some awesome stuff. And so every year at Comic-Con, they select, about 20, 25 people, somewhere in there, to get the coveted Inkpot Award. And this year, both Mark Bernardin and Kevin Smith were awarded Inkpots. And, not together. They were, Mark Bernardin had his own panel that he was on. I don't know the name of the panel, otherwise I'd give it to you. And
it was the Castle Rock one.
And it was for Castle Rock? Okay, yeah. And at that panel, he was awarded the Inkpot Award for his work, in pop culture and comics and, all that kind of stuff. And same with Kevin later on, I think the next day, or maybe Saturday night, whenever his big, it was because I think he does the Hall H thing. And I believe that's a Saturday night thing. If it wasn't.
Yes, it was last night.
Yeah. It was a huge turnout.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, I saw a picture of the room. And let's put it this way. I don't think Trump had as many people at his inauguration as Kevin Smith had last night. But anyway, so it was a nice turnout for him. And he got an Inkpot Award as well, which is, a big to-do in the comic world, the Comic-Con world. And are you just leaving me out here to dry?
No, I'm good. I'm reading.
She's like, I'm covering the news too. So yeah, that was a big moment for them. So a lot happened at Comic-Con.
Right.
A lot of little stories. A lot of Kevin stories come out of Comic-Con this year. And also, I've seen a lot of pictures. I know on the IMDB boat that Kevin interviewed Brian Johnson,
right?
And
and they also had
and the Jokers
Kevin Smith cosplay.
Oh yeah, yes, they did.
And they also and I'm pretty sure he interviewed Brian and
Q.
Brian and Q.
Yeah. I saw pictures of that too. Q's looking very well, very kempt now.
He looks good. And the Jokers did a big meet and greet or
That's
crazy
right. They did because they have a movie coming.
They have a movie coming out.
Yes, a feature film.
Yes, and that should be, I'm sure.
Is that this year or 2019?
2019, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And that movie's going to do gangbusters, because they're so popular. Yeah. I can't imagine Like, and there's people that you meet, like, oh, we love the Joker. So
yeah, they're one of the like you rarely meet people that hate them.
Right.
You know, like
they either don't
love them
know
or
them.
don't know them. Yes.
Right. Exactly.
That's really it.
Which if you
You
don't
don't really meet too
what?
many people who say the Jokers. Fuck those guys. You know.
Well, and if
they
you
do, usually they have an axe to grind.
Yeah, and if you don't,
that was
know
my
them,
show.
It's kind of weird.
I had it first.
I find it.
There's still some people that don't know who they are.
I know. I find it weird, but whatever.
All right, we want to take a moment to talk about Death Wish Coffee. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor and get over to deathwishcoffee.com. And there you can buy the strongest coffee known to man without a prescription.
The world's strongest coffee ever.
Yes, as proudly displayed on my wife's sweatshirt over there.
Yes, on my body, on my mug,
yes,
on my
K
K-cups.
Yes, and you'll know them by their telling sign of the skull and crossbones.
It's
that tells
so
you
good.
Exactly what you're in for. It's that used to be the international symbol for poison, but now it is the symbol for good damn coffee.
It's awesome. Without milk, with milk, you don't really need it because it's strong.
But
it's
not bitter?
Not bitter. So you don't even need milk. You don't even need sugar, but you can add it if you'd like. It's just really, really the perfect, strongest, most awesome coffee.
Become a junkie of Death Wish. DeathWishCoffee.com. Thank you very much.
Enjoy it.
And be sure to get 10% off your order at www.deathwishcoffee.com when you use the code ThatMan. That's one word, conjunctified, all caps. ThatMan for 10% off your orders at deathwishcoffee.com. I want to take this time to mention to you www.audibletrial.com/ThatManOnFatman. That's right, www.audibletrial.com/ThatManOnFatman. That's one word, conjunctified. Go there, sign up for your free 30-day free trial. Sign up, get a free book, a free audio book, because you don't have to go through no tedious reading. You don't have to turn no fucking pages. You don't have to do any of that bullshit. You get in your car, you put on your headphones, and you are listening to a book. You're taking a magical journey into a fictitious land. You're expanding your mind, all when you're stuck in traffic. Fucking amazing. Audiobooks. These are the wave of the future. And you can get in for free for 30 days. A free trial. And when you get your free trial, you can download a copy of Tough Shit by our Savior, Kevin Smith. That's right. Our Lord and Savior, Kevin Smith, has left words for us to follow in our lives. And we can get it for free just by signing up to audibletrial.com/ThatManOnFatman. That's right. audibletrial.com/ThatManOnFatman. Thank you. Please sign up. You'll be very happy you did. So swishing away from Comic-Con for a minute.
Should we talk about James Gunn?
You know,
I don't know what to say.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about it because it's it's so mired in controversy.
You know exactly what happened.
I was so fucking upset that I know I fucking shot out tweets that I ended up deleting, as everybody does, you know?
Yeah, but
I was like, F Disney, F this, F that. But, you know, that's just raw emotion.
I still feel that way, though.
I don't know if it's Disney so much as, like, that was very stupid. I think it was a stupid and way too, like, how are they making decisions on people's lives so fucking
well,
fast?
And how do you do it so quickly?
I
You're,
know
totally
it's insane. It's
like
there's
something that's done so well.
How about this? First, you say, why don't we investigate this, and we'll just say, you know, we won't say anything until we know all the facts, and then
I mean,
I don't know.
Or say like something like we're standing by, I'm
going to have a real hard time supporting any more Marvel films and certainly the Guardians franchise without, the fucking guy who did it.
I know. How can you totally not?
I mean,
even try.
That was a nothing franchise. Nobody expected anything from it, and it became one of the best 2 films of the franchise of the Marvel movies. So,
how could you just be a fuckface to him right away? But anyway, we love you, James Gunn, and we support you. We're trying. I signed a
petition.
Petition.
Yeah.
And I shared.
I saw that 50,000 people have signed that already.
Well, it's the goal is 50,000. It's already at 32,000.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's.
I thought 50,000 already signed it, but okay. So yeah, this is part of some fucking right-wing conspiracy to basically take down anyone who publicly criticizes Trump, and it's fucking bullshit. So there you go. That's the world we live in today.
Yep.
So.
Scary.
Yeah. But anyway, we have a different show here. So between John Schwepp, John Schnepp, we've lost, and James Gunn, we're losing all the directors in the world. Some to illness and some to fucking stupidity.
I know.
Anyway, so that's a big bummer.
But the other thing,
I guess I would be able to support it if say Kevin Smith became the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, but I don't see that happening.
No.
Anyway.
But they put together the Edumacation Pub King.
Yes. All right, and a couple others. All right, so yes, there are definitely some good stories to talk about here. We'll talk about Edumacation coming back. And first they dropped a podcast explaining that they were doing a live show, and the goal of the live show was they had been thinking that every time someone goes to see a live show, the problem is that they have to pay. And so that means that the fans are always, having to cough up 20, 30, whatever amount of bucks it is to get Kevin in the door. So the idea was, hey, why don't we do Edumacation and you can come and see it for free. But it's going to be a live pub game but if you want to participate in the actual game, then you buy round cards and all that stuff, and it becomes a pub game. So it costs you about $20.
Is it always going to be a pub game now? That's what they're doing?
I think when it's live, it will always be a pub game.
Okay.
And when it's in the studio, when it's at home, it will be the standard. But I don't know that either.
Okay.
I would assume that the goal now is to do them more live and record them and do pub games.
Yeah, good for them. Sounds like fun.
To that end, having listened to the first show, and guys, you know how I feel about this. I hope you know how I feel. And it's your show. You do it however you want. I would never criticize but I have a couple notes. And and they're very simple. Right now, you guys currently have 5 rounds. Maybe 4 is enough because your original show is 4 rounds. I mean, it's psi, the phi, the y, and the bi.
Right.
And my other note would be tie it to that. Tie the 4 rounds to that. Because then it's they're vague enough categories that you can almost fit anything in them. And you're tying it back to the original show to which its name is derived. So those are my, otherwise, hey, I liked it. It was fun, but you guys are going to have to remember, they're not prizes. They're giveaways. Fun giveaways. Many times you slipped into prizes.
They're not prizes?
No, apparently, that's one of those legal rigmaroles. It becomes gambling or whatever if you're giving away prizes. However, if they're giveaways, then it's okay for whatever reason.
Okay.
They have no monetary value is the idea. A giveaway has no monetary value. A prize has a value and can be taxed and and that kind of shit.
Okay.
So
it's a giveaway.
Yes. Just something they need to bang into their lexicon.
Yeah.
But I thought it was
fun.
Yeah, it was a fun show.
And
there was a video version already up on kevinsmith.com on YouTube.
Right.
The YouTube
and the
channel.
only time you pay is to be in the game. So you could just watch if you wanted to.
Yeah, so you could go to see Edumacation performed and hang out, and you get in for free, and you wouldn't have to pay a thing. provided.
You could buy one ticket for yourself and just play.
You could buy one round, yes, and play one round. They have a whole bunch of rules. You can have up to 5 people on a team and that kind of thing. So definitely check it out. It's on YouTube. Fun. It's probably already dropped as the education, as the podcast. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we listened to it before we saw it.
And if you're on Hollywood Boulevard, go see it live.
Yeah, and if you're on Hollywood Boulevard, like our friend Rob,
right,
you can go down and check it out. So.
The Scum and Villainy Cantina.
The Scum and Villainy Cantina.
JC.
In Los Angeles.
Yep.
The City of Angels. Now, another big thing this week, and probably maybe the week before, because it's summer, we've taken a more bi-weekly sort of show schedule, would be Hollyweed.
Yay,
that's right, folks.
Hollyweed,
we've talked about it. We've speculated about it the last few episodes. We've talked about, what's going on with Hollyweed? How's that? Kevin said he was shooting it. And so it dropped. It's on one of these networks. It's kind of like a startup network where you vote for shows and that kind of thing. So the pilot dropped. And the way it works is if you pledge for 6 episodes, a certain amount, then in the future, if they get the green light,
right,
you'll get those 6 episodes. And the more people that pledge at the higher amount means that when it actually gets the green light, based on how many people and how much, it may be you only pay like $1.99 an episode, even if you pledged $6 an episode or whatever
right.
whatever the
it's
top
just
is.
How many people?
Yeah, it's based on popularity. I mean, in theory, if they get the amount from fewer people pledging higher amount, then fewer people will get a tailored show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there are possibilities there. And we, of course, are in for a pound. We pledged the max for the max amount of episodes. And we hope to see this show because we enjoyed the pilot.
Oh, my God. It was fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you Google Hollyweed at this point, I'm pretty sure you can find all the information, where to pledge, where to watch. I know it's on YouTube. All that good stuff, and it's a fun episode, and I would look forward to at least 6 more. So there you have it, the Hollyweed.
Yay. Yeah.
Anything else? I think we covered everything.
So I think let me look.
Such a weird episode. We're like itemizing everything.
I just don't think we missed anything.
I know, but it was such a crazy week. The vibe feels different now that we're talking about it on the show.
I know.
That's when it was actually... Oh, wait. We are forgetting something.
What?
Fucking Vulgarthon.
Vulgarthon is coming up.
Yeah, Vulgarthon is coming up around Kevin's birthday. It's a big thing.
It's the first weekend in August.
Yeah. And they're sort of recreating the original Vulgarthon, and I think there might be a film or 2 added. I'm not exactly sure which ones are on there.
I think there's 1 or 2 from Vinny and Brian Lynch.
Yeah, well, there was 4 original films to Vulgarthon because there were 4 original Kevin Smith, like he was the mentor, or they were part of his deal originally with Miramax, and so it was. Let me see if I can remember them all now. Vulgar, which is Brian Johnson.
Mm-hmm. This is all in.
Well, this was the original. This was the original sort of the 4 movies that Kevin, spearheaded out of his deal with Miramax originally. So it was Vulgar. It was A Better Place, which was Vinny's movie. He directed. Big Helium Dog, which was Brian Lynch. And then we even had Trevor Furman on who talked about Now You Know, which was Jeff Anderson's movie, which came out of that. So all of them were like small, very indie films that came out of that. And I believe then they did a Vulgarthon featuring these films back in, like, I want to say 96 or something.
So this is the first one since 96?
Well, yeah, this is sort of its 20-year anniversary, I guess. So what was 20 years ago? Was it 96? I don't even know.
It must have been 98.
98. So 98, yeah. They had, like, these Vulgarthons. So this is a recreation of that, and apparently I guess they're doing podcasts. Are they showing all those 4 movies, or are they doing other movies? I'm not even sure.
They're showing
I know
all
Vulgar.
those movies and then a podcast.
Oh, so they are showing all 4 of those movies.
It starts at 9 in the morning and it ends at 12 midnight.
Yeah. So it's a whole...
It's a long day.
Yeah, it's a long day. Yeah.
So enjoy it, yeah.
Yeah, so those who are going. It's already sold out, so if you're going, you're going. And
You may see us.
you may see us. Oh, I know. This is crazy out there. So
I know.
we talked about Hollyweed, and so check out all this stuff. Basically, this has been a Kevin Smith promotion show today.
Right.
You can find out all the latest and greatest on what's going on with our hero. You know, I mean, there's been a lot of articles also related to his heart attack and all that with him being back at Comic-Con, which might have been part of the reason why at San Diego it was such a big thing at Hall H and why he got the ink pot and all that kind of stuff. Like, holy shit, how did we not do this before?
I know.
So, yeah.
He looks
And he
great.
didn't have to worry about Star Wars following him this year or any of that shit. So.
He didn't. And the blazer looks good, sir.
Yes. We were
Very
talking about
dapper.
that this morning because we were watching, again, we were watching The Making of Superman Lives or, you know,
He
what
was
happened.
just really big.
And, yeah, it was
Ooh, that jersey looked
2014
tight on him.
when it was shot.
Belly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That jersey was tight.
Yeah, and so we were thinking, well, now he's out of jerseys.
He's
And he
gonna
just
start putting that
he
shit
just
on-
started a jersey company. He's going to start
He's going to start putting that shit on the back of blazers.
Yeah, I was going to say he's going to start a blazer company.
Why not?
Laser blazers.
Well, because
I always think of fucking Tesdy when I think of blazers too.
I think
because if you
about-
listen to like when they did they wanted to do some kind of reporting
Right.
back when they did their Ghost House show or whatever it was.
Well, I think about Weight Watchers too. Like they want him to kind of display his weight loss a little more. So when you're under those jerseys, like everything's just huge on him.
Yeah.
He looks like a big funny. He looks
Yeah,
like a clown sometimes. But looking good, sir.
Everybody loves the
Every
jerseys though.
day.
So that's like
Yeah.
Mixed
I like the
feelings.
jerseys,
I
too.
don't know if I want a blazer company.
Well, the thing is, you don't need to be big to wear a jersey.
Very
You can be
true. Very
small.
true. I mean, I wear jerseys every now and then.
Yeah, you can just wear a
It's more
small
because
size.
I want to. Usually, it's cold in the house.
Right.
It's a sweater.
Right.
And it literally is a sweater.
So go to Jay and Bob's Secret Stash and get you one.
Yeah, connect up and get yourself a very lovely jersey. They're very well made. They even have the fighting strap in them.
Mm-hmm. They do, and they have an authenticity that comes with it.
Yes.
Now,
yes, they're meaty. They're
each-
meaty jerseys.
I think there's like a jersey of the month or the week or what is that?
I'm not even sure.
Okay, go to Jay and Silent Bob.
Yes,
Secret
you get all
Stash
the
and check
details.
all the
deets are there.
Yep.
All right. You know what? We're going to leave
Everything.
you with our usual closer, letting you know that you're smart and you're good. And we're glad that you've been sticking with us through the lazy summer months. And we will keep coming at you.
Yep.
We have a Joseph and Shaddai show that's in the can, but we've decided we're gonna hang on to it because we'd rather have them back. So we have them booked again, and we're gonna just the energy. The way it felt like during our interview, we were reacquainting ourselves with them, and like we didn't click until the end when we were almost done with the interview,
Right.
and then we talked for another hour. What people wouldn't know, like after we stopped recording, and that's when we were like loose and like we had loosened up and like, oh yeah, like, it was a weird ice breaking.
Right. Well, and we know them already. We just
Yeah.
haven't talked to them in a while.
Yeah, so we figured, why don't we just have them back on and recapture the right energy?
Yeah, so that'll be next week.
Yes. So look forward to that, folks.
Yep.
Anyway, until then, you're smart and good. You can probably tell it's really early when we recorded this because we're not all that animated.
Have a good one, guys.
Yes, we love you and
don't stress about the news.
yeah,
Try
yeah.
to do something fun.
If there's any sadness in our tone, that's probably why.
It's kind of like draining. I'm just so tired of the hate. It's,
Yes. Between making Russia great again and, losing one of a major movie franchise's creators and directors that I really cared about, that really sucked. That was a bad week.
I know, right?
Over bullshit. Over total bullshit. Like a hit job.
God. There's
Anyway.
a petition out there, so try to sign it for James Gunn.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to work, but, I mean, what else can we do?
Yeah.
It's like my favorite movie. So.
What stinks, too, is how fast they're like, oh, we'll just get the guy who did this movie, and that'll make it all better. Not that I'm saying he can't do it, because I like him.
Yeah, the guy who did
Watiti.
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. But
I loved that movie. But, I mean, it's not like, okay, well, this guy's done, so let's get this guy. No, it's not easy as that.
Especially
Because
since
James
he just finished.
Gunn-
He just finished.
Because James
the
Gunn
script
had
on the third one.
such a love for the characters.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just like throw somebody else in there who doesn't have like
Yep.
an affection like he did.
Yep.
And they loved him too. Like, I don't know why they're not. I'm not saying they won't, but I'm like, where's Chris Pratt? Where's Zoe? Like, where are they?
I've seen some comments. What's his
Oh, you
name
have?
came out?
I know that Dan Bautista did.
Yeah, Dan Bautista came out pretty
Yeah.
hard and
Yeah,
pretty
but
strong.
we need like Vin Diesel. We need all these people to come in.
I think Vin Diesel already did something too.
Did he?
I thought he did.
Okay. Maybe I haven't been, seeing it, but
Yeah.
all these people have to because they know what a good guy he is.
Yeah.
And I read something too, and I think it was even Sean Gunn. Go on Sean Gunn's Instagram because he goes on and on about the Guardians of the Galaxy is about being a better person.
Yeah, I agree.
He totally put on the screen like being a better person. So I don't know what y'all are hearing, but I just think we need to follow it closer and just stand by him as much as we can.
Yeah. Anyway, you're smart and good, folks. Sorry for the
Smart and
downtone
good.
in the news, but it's
Well,
been a
I mean,
really
it's-
fucking weird
We need
week.
to talk about it.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
still love him and love the movie. So.
Yes. And we love Kevin Smith,
And we love Kevin Smith.
our mentor.
Yes.
And our spiritual totem animal, if
Yes.
you will, of the show.
And I feel like him.
And I love
shouting us
that
out.
shout out was amazing. Like,
And to us, it was a little bit of a. It's all right, guys. I got you.
and as totally. And as someone who understands podcasting, I mean, Kevin, I just, in my heart of hearts, I know that Kevin knew, oh, this will be the last show that drops before Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So all the people that we promote stuff to on Comic-Con over this next week, if you go to Fatman on Batman, you know what I mean, and spin up his latest thing, what you're going to get in the first opening, few minutes of that show is a shout out to us. And that means so much.
It means the world. Thank you, sir.
So much to us. I mean,
Because we know you've got so much on your mind, and for you to kind of take that, 60 seconds out to just,
yeah, it really
But
moved
I
us.
mean, and in some ways, he was just expressing what happened in his life. Too,
Yeah,
so.
but yes and no, because he didn't. In which case, he wouldn't have needed to include any of those details.
I know, but
he chose to do that,
right.
and
And
that's
the
what makes
fact
him a
that
wonderful
he doesn't
guy.
do it a lot, we know why he doesn't because
Yeah.
we know Kevin's MO. He
Yeah,
wants
you
to
can't
kind
can't
of-
promote a show that's about you. You know what I mean? You can't. It seems very gross to be
Well-
like, "Hey, if you really like me, there's a show that's all about me. You guys should check out."
Well,
You
and
can't
I
be
think-
like that.
I think also he looks at it as someone taking his advice.
Yes.
More so than he does. This is a show about me.
And I would also like to say that while I do think it's a cute concept, I do not want a podcast about me.
Oh my God!
No, because it would be about how horrible
Well, there's
I
some
am.
people that podcast about themselves because that's
What
what,
a
they talk
rotten
about
person.
themselves.
He's so
So-
rotten. He's gay and he's polyamorous. And he's everything bad under the sun.
Who says that?
That would be the show about me.
No, I don't listen to anything. So, have a good week, guys. You're smart and you're good.
Yes, you're smart and you're good. And
Let's leave on a positive note.
yes, and
We're
we
leaving with facts, not alternate facts. You are
Yes.
smart and you're good, period.
Well, if we're gonna leave on a positive note, I mean, fucking, I mean, let's do this then. I mean, shit, I played it once, play it twice, leave on a real positive note. I'm like losing my mind because I can't. Can you tell that I'm stalling? Can you tell? Can you
Yes.
find the stall?
Yes.
Yes, you can find the stall.
This is the.
You're
I
smart
just
and good, folks.
left home to come over here and had the weirdest
Bye-bye.
exchange with my wife.
Closing with this.
On my desk, there's a gentleman named Scott Holden does a podcast. We do Fatman on Batman. He does ThatMan on Fatman, which is a podcast about me. Hopefully, someone will do a podcast about him, and it'll be like that box of butter. It just gets smaller and smaller and shit. So
Please no, don't do that.
He sent me a book for, I guess it was my birthday last year, that was like how to be a secret agent. And he was like, what do you get for the guy who has everything? Probably this, And so it was sitting on my desk. My wife came in to say something before I left. I was rolling a joint and shit, and she came in to talk. And then just before she leaves, she sees the book, and it's been there forever. And it's like she just noticed it or she never pays attention in the office. But she looks at it and she goes, "What's this?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a secret dream that I've always kept from you." Which is like a bullshit answer, but she was fucked. She came back with a rapier wit. She goes, "Oh my God, do you mean you've had an unexpressed thought in your life?"
Damn.
Oh, it fucking hurt, but I was like, that's good. I'm stealing that line.
That's fucked up.
It was pretty fucking heinous.
It wasn't just good, it was smart, and it was good. See you next week.
Smiling, praying for some faith. Thoughts are drifting through my mind and filling it with fear. Is there something else out there, and just why are we here? Then I see the world will turn, and we must be its guide. Crazy dreams and nonsense schemes, dawn comes, we must reply. Powers from our mother earth will blow us to our knees. While our souls do bind as one, come join us if you please, if you please. Reading moments one by one and smirking like a thief. Sleeping through another night and deepening our peace. Genesis and matter's wake is coming from our sun. Living in this very moment, for this moment's done. But now I see the dawn will come, and we are all its guide. Crazy dreams and nonsense schemes, the Godhead in the skies. Powers from our mother earth is all we'll ever be. All our souls do bind as one, come join us if you please, if you please. Eyes we worship at our shrine. Bursting flowers into bloom, there's no such thing as time. Powers from our mother earth will blow us to our knees. Twisting, turning minds are burning, join us if you please. And now I see that I am just beginning its demise. Flashing bits of comic light that vanish from the skies. Powers from our mother earth is all we'll ever be. All our souls do bind as one, come join us if you please, if you please. If you please. If you please.
There he is. It's that man standing over Blood Alley Square, protecting us all. Go get him, that man.